Come one, come all. It's this week's Monkey Nut Punch podcast, and with me is Keith. Hello, Keith.
Hello, Keith.
How we doing? Right.
We're back.
We've got no Nige. We lost him. Don't know where we put him. Behind the fridge, I think.
Well, he's kind of short, so yeah. I'll check behind my sofa. It might drop down the back there. I can't see him.
Yes. Right, on this week's show, we're planning on talking about Doctor Who. Did you watch the first episode of Doctor Who?
I suffered through it, yes.
I watched
for the podcast.
I watched it like a car crash. You know, when you just drive past it and you go, oh my God, how did that happen? And then we've got Dune, which I saw in cinema. I'm probably going to see it again in cinema. Someone's really going, oh, I'll see Dune review. It's like, yeah, sure. And Foundation, which is some dry sci-fi. We might talk about Apple's Invasion, which is a story of an alien invasion, which doesn't feature aliens or an invasion.
I have something to admit. I've seen The Eternals.
Have you? I'm going to save that because I'm going to watch that sometime.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Soon. So I'm actually tempted to re-edit the trailer into perfume advert because it looks more like a perfume advert than it does a superhero one. There's some really interesting stuff going on around it, which I find interesting. So anyway, let's talk about Doctor Who. All right. So Doctor Who. Right, so Doctor Who aired last week on Halloween, and it was the new run, hopefully trying to make things better, not really, with the Flux. It was the Halloween special, and yes, trying to put it together. It was this hodgepodge, higgledy-piggledy mess, where I think Chris Chibnall was trying to be like Russell T Davies last season. I think he's trying to be like Stephen Moffat this season. Unfortunately, there's not many people who can pull off what Stephen Moffat does. Not even Stephen Moffat can pull off Stephen Moffat. And we know this because we watch things go from Stephen Moffat. But when he does pull it off, it's fantastic, admittedly. But yeah, I watched it. It was it was a higgledy-piggledy mess. First things first, yeah. A lot of people are kind of down on Dan, yeah. They're down on Dan, John Bishop's character. I think that Dan is a bit of an olive branch because it's like everyone's going, oh no, because the Yaz talked down to him in the TARDIS and this and that. Because just look at the character, yeah. He loves his local history. He helps out the local charities, even though it means that he might go without food. Yeah, shows that he's a really good guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Dan's probably about the only likable thing in the episode.
Yeah. So they've given a positive role model, a positive male role model for first time in I can't remember when. Probably back in Capaldi era. But there's a lot of stuff going on, and it's just weird to juggle all this nonsense about. So we've got the what do you call it? You've got the people in Victorian Liverpool who are digging tunnels. Nothing comes of that in this episode. You've got the woman who turns up and says, "Hi, do you remember me?" No, we don't remember you. So instead of doing what the Doctor normally does and says, "Come with, and we'll figure it out later." But no, we'll leave you here. You've got a weeping angel in there because people want to see a weeping angel. You've got the what do you call the little fellas? Not Silurians, not Slovene.
Soltarans. Soltarans. Yeah,
Sontaran. Now I don't mind having. I liked the way they made them look in the Russell T Davies era. Black armor would have been cooler. Yeah. But everything else was spot on with the way they put those characters together. And they've changed it. They've kind of gone back to the kind of 80s melted plastic trash, which I didn't really appreciate. And there was supposed to be some humor there that didn't work. Then you had Discount Killmonger, I've heard people refer to him as, on Space Station Rose in the middle of nowhere, watching the Flux or the Parallax or the antimatter wave from fucking Flash. So it's yeah, no, discount Killmonger. It was weird. It started off and you had the doctor and God, Yaz, fucking hell, she leaves such an impression on you. I was going to call her Farley then. Yaz being tied up upside down a lake of acid by some dog creature that apparently is here to save one human, but is willing to drop another one in a vat of acid alongside the doctor. Didn't make any sense. Really didn't make any sense. It didn't. I'm just like sitting there scratching my head, and it's like, I know what you're trying to do, trying to have an exciting opener. You're trying to do the James Bond thing where it's like, this was James Bond's previous mission and then moved on to it. I get that. Didn't work though. Try again. So you had that, and then you found out that this dog creature thing is trying to save Dan because every dog has a person they have to save on Earth. And I'm like, how? Tell me how. And it's like, okay, that's a good idea. It feels like a man's best friend turns up to save him. That's great. Downside is that it's not good. It was crap. It was crap. It was so crap. It was such a hodgepodge mismatch. I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to do it. Oh, it all adds up. Now, it feels like there's a couple of big Finnish stories where I think the Matt Smith's one for the 40th that they did was 50th, sorry, that they did. It feels a bit like that, but it was done better in that. I have no idea what he's trying to achieve there. I really don't. It's just they're referring back to the division or whatever, the ruination of Doctor Who. And they had the two people who were holding some person who looked like what the fuck did he look like? I don't know.
Partly Skeletor, partly I don't know. I mean, I don't quite understand it all. Is he doubling down on the Timeless Child? I mean, is he just going to leave it to Russell T Davies to get rid of? Just to write it off into a alternate universe. I don't know what he's doing, but
it doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. It's just like, oh, we fought loads, Doctor. And it's like, have we? I can't fucking remember you. And it's like, kind of, well, why are you? Oh, I don't. It's just crap. It's like they had the dog costume looked terrible. It really did look terrible.
Yes, it looked very cheap.
I don't know how the cats if you know they did the cats in the previous thing, they look quite good.
That was 15 years ago. It was episode 2 of season 2 when they went to New York, and they were amazing. Yes, they were really very good.
Yeah. You're just flummoxed because it's just what the have you done? It's literally, I don't know. Maybe someone dropped the pages of the script out the window and then tried to reassemble them.
It was marginally better than anything else he's done, but that's by no means. It was. Good.
Yeah, hang on a second.
It wasn't good.
Right, I completely agree with you. An episode that didn't make any bloody sense, yeah, with lots of stuff happening in it, was far best episode so far.
But it's true.
Yeah,
I mean, it is absolutely true. It was a pile of absolute donkey droppings, but it was still more entertaining than anything else he has put out in, I would say, ever. I like Dan. Yeah. It's just a shame Dan's not going to be in, or I hope. Well, maybe Russell T Davies will retain him. I don't know. But who's to know what Mr. T Davies is going to do? But it was. Yeah, I know what you mean. I do fully.
On the bright side, it didn't feel like the universe only existed really tight, like a really tiny slither, like he does, which I find awful. It ruins the atmosphere. It takes me right out of it. But I'm not going to watch anymore. I'll wait until the end, and then if anyone says, "Yeah, no, it worked out," if the review I get of it is, "Yeah, it was okay," I might go back and watch it. But I watched that first one. Jesus Christ, man, know how to write a script. You've been doing it for long enough. I could have sat down and written a better script with you. But anyway, let's move on to. Oh, sorry. Go on.
I just wanted to answer Biffa's comment here. Hi,
I was
hey,
just
buddy,
about
by
to
the way.
say. I was just about to say, move on to the comments.
No, they're not. This is the thing. The BBC have effectively given up creative control of it because it's now been handed over to Bad Wolf Productions.
Yes.
So therefore, the BBC are actually commissioning the program independently. And whilst I suspect that BBC Wales will still be attached to it because it will be shot at BBC Wales, unlike the BBC don't have direct control over it. That was the deal that they've struck with Russell T Davies. So the original producers left the BBC to form Bad Wolf Productions, named after the Doctor Who. And Bad Wolf Productions has done some pretty good stuff. So no, in theory, the BBC don't have the same level of control that they have over this current garbage. So we don't know. We don't know. Go on.
They've subbed it out. They've put it out to a subcontractor to sort out. And I think that it will be gayer, but better.
Oh, it will always be gay. It's Russell T Davies.
It's Russell T Davies. It's going to be gay, but it'll be better. I can accept gay as long as it's quality, and that was the case with Russell T Davies. It was like, and you notice that when you watch a Russell T Davies episode against the Moffat episode, when Moffat's in charge, it's less gay in Moffat.
That's true. I mean, if you watch the first 2 seasons of Cardiff, there's a lot of gay aliens running around Cardiff. I mean, a lot.
Torchwood, you mean?
Torchwood, that's what I mean, yeah.
Cardiff. Cardiff's a TV show.
Well, no, the Cardiff was where a lot of it was filmed. I mean, especially when they're driving around in the Black Range Rover, it's all down the M4, out in and around Cardiff. It was quite funny, but it always made me giggle how many gay aliens were running around Cardiff. But Torchwood was pretty good as well. So, but no, I didn't think much of it. But I have to say, I noticed that it was still ever so slightly more entertaining than it has been. But that doesn't mean it's good. That's my review.
Yeah, it just means it just crammed a load of stories, bits all together into one. So we'll find out. We'll find out eventually what happens, but probably for me, but it'll be by the end of the season. I don't know if they're doing a Christmas special.
They have got 6 episodes of this Doctor Who Flux, they're calling it. And then we have 3 specials. Now, where we get those 3 specials, who knows? Nobody knows. I suspect it won't be a Christmas special. It'll be a New Year's special. I've already heard the rumor that Russell T Davies is demanding that it be reinstated on Christmas Day. And bloody hell, yes, it should be. Yes. You know, Chibnall just can't write for shit. That's the problem.
Yeah, it's not the fact that you don't have to do a Christmas story. You just have to do a feature-length story, an hour-long Doctor Who episode. That's it. Doesn't have to be. All you can do is say, "Oh, look!" And at the end, you go, "Oh, it's Christmas." That reminds me of something else, but we'll talk about that later. We've showed you that sketch, didn't I? Right. So, Dune. Dune was out. It's been out of the cinema. Dune.
June, or is it Dune?
Dune. I always thought it's Dune with a D. Dune.
I thought it's June, as in a sand dune, and I thought that's how you.
I always thought it was pronounced with a D. June.
Yeah.
Dune.
June. Yeah.
June. It's June, as in the month. Anywho, June has come out of the June has come out of the cinema, and I've managed to get around to watching it. It's been out for a while. It's making quite a bit of money considering that we've been through the LC19. And I watched it, and I'll be honest with you, when it got to the end, I was starting to go, does it end here? Does it end here? Does it end here? Does it end here? All the way through the end. It kind of ruined it for me. That's why I'm kind of going to see it again. Mrs. was a bit upset because she wanted to see it because Jason Momoa was in it, and I was like, he's in 4 scenes. He looks a bit chubby, and he gets stabbed. Do you really want to see him? Actually, no. You should go and see him get stabbed.
But he makes quite a heroic death. I knew about an hour in where it was going to end, because of the dream that he has, and I know roughly the story. I've read parts of the book, but the book's quite difficult to read. I knew, so I roughly knew where it was going to end. I enjoyed it. Sorry, Biffa, but I kind of liked this. I think
so
it's
right. It's a long film, yeah, and it's
yeah.
weird because this is my criticism. The film could have been longer, and I would have been happy with it being longer. It could have been a full 3 hours, and I would have been happier with it because I felt that it needed to come to a proper kind of conclusion. That's my issue, because all we got to was the deposed prince storyline. Yeah, because it starts off, it's quite feudal, if I remember Dune correctly, and that's a long remember correctly.
I mean, it depends how you see this, because there is no way you would have got all of the book into 3 hours, and I know what he's doing. I mean, the guy clearly is absolutely in love with Dune, has been since he's a kid. That's not marketing bullshit. It's obvious that he has an appreciation. Interestingly, they didn't have there's a scene in the 1984 movie with the Spacing Guild, and more importantly the Spacing Guild navigator, which is that wasn't there with the Emperor.
Right,
they didn't bring the Emperor in. Yeah,
hang on. Let's just stick to the film and not what was in the film.
Well, no, because I'm responding to
the navigator. Right,
right.
Hang on a second. I'll wait to the end to do the comments and bits. The navigators were in it, but yeah, blink and you'd miss them. And I'm not joking when I say you blink and you miss them. They were in.
No, those are you talking about the guys in the mask? Because the navigators are in a great big glass tanks, because they are suspended in.
Depends which version. The David Lynch version, they're in a big tank. The sci-fi one, that both of them, they were in suits, encounter suits, and in this version, they were in encounter suits too.
Is that navigators in the
red? Because they turned around and said, "Who's turned up?" And they said, "X amount of people from navigators, the Benny Jesuits, and then the others that all turn up." So I'm assuming it's those red ones, and also I'm assuming that the bit at the beginning when you hear the talking, because the navigators don't quite talk right. Yeah, I'm assuming that's a navigator talking. Very first sentence of the film.
I know. I think that was meant to be. Well, I heard it was one of the Barons lot. But you could be right. Actually, that potentially makes more sense.
Because you have to remember the navigators are on the same. Whoever's got the spice has got the navigators. Whoever's got the navigators has got the spaceways. That's true. It when it comes to Dune. And then because the other part of it too was navigators show what the extreme use of it looks like. Yeah, if you just gulp down a couple of tons worth of this stuff over the course of a lifetime, one, it would extend your life, and two, it would deform you to this weird either floaty dog creature or space bat, depending on which version, or really kind of thin, gangly creature. So yeah, that was one bit I missed, and I was hoping to see that. Navigator was in the 1984 film kind of worked for me, and I liked it because it was interesting, because it kind of shows you how the spice affects people. Right? Well, it's great because it lays it out, and you see people who control it, they're getting rich off of it, and they're getting fat. Yeah, that's one way of saying it. They're getting rich off it, and they're getting fat. You got the navigators who are using it, and they're getting distorted. Yeah, you've got the Furman. They're Furman. The guys on the blue-eyed fellas.
Oh, the Frennen.
Thank you. Yeah. The Frennen who are using it, who are exposed to it. They're not using it, but they're exposed to it, and you see what the exposure does to it. Then you see the giant bloody sandworms and stuff. And if you don't think about the sandworms, they're not native to Arrakis.
No.
They were some kind of weird trout creature that was moved over there. I have yet to find out more, but it's one of those things. I've got to go pick another book up. Somewhere in the Children of Dune story, that bit. But the look of it was. Everyone talks about the look of it being fantastic. The look of it was fantastic. Everything felt real. Yeah, all the CGI served to build the world rather than to move the story for a plot or something. Yeah, you felt that when they were flying their little kind of like dragonfly copter things.
Yeah.
They were like helicopters to them, and they were great, and they were fantastic as a thing.
Orthocopters, they're called orthocopters.
Orthocopter.
Yeah.
And then you see the bit where the sandworm gets the crawler, which is
Yes.
burning the spice, and it drags it down, and it's fantastic. It really is it's fantastic. Everything looks like it exists in the world, and this stuff is real, and you can reach out and touch it, which is fantastic. And then there's some bits about it. It's like kind of the whole thing that the Emperor's pretty much set the Atreides up to fail miserably. Yeah.
Yes.
He set them up to fail miserably, so one, he can keep the Harkonnens in place and take them out as a faction that he doesn't have to worry about. Doesn't know that he's being played by the Bene Gesserit because they want to have their Space Jesus, who's going to be a bit Hitler-ish towards the end. And I like the fact that they actually showed a scene, because I can't remember if they showed a scene in the Lynch version, in the 84 version of it, where you see him in the future, and he is a little tyrant. He's an absolute tyrant, where he's literally turning up and he's decimating places and then buggering off to teach everyone a lesson. So he's doing like raids and stuff. And if he has got access to spice and no one else has access to spice, that the ability to pop in, do a bit of space folding, pop in, strike somewhere, and then pop out, that's difficult for people to cope with. Dave Bautista's character, I know what happens to him. It's going to get beheaded.
Yes.
He's going to be like, what's his mush as the Baron? What's the actor's name who played the Baron?
Oh, it's the guy out the Avengers and everything else. They don't. Oh, I've forgotten his name. I've forgotten his name, but I know who.
Something
Skarsgård.
Skarsgård.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you're right. But,
something Skarsgård.
He
did
was
a great job as the Baron.
Yes, he was very, very good.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the most cinematic films that I've seen in a very long while, and I love the use of sound in it and the way the sound. I mean, if you're in a cinema with a good sound system, it is very well done, and it's very. What's the word? Very atmospheric. It brings you into it, and it does what a lot of films haven't done for a very long while. I mean, don't get me wrong. You go and see a Marvel film. A Marvel film is 2 hours of action with the comic book heroes. If you saw that on the big TV, you wouldn't be losing a huge amount. Whereas this is a piece of cinema. And regardless of whether you like it, I happen to like it. I prefer it to the 1984 version, in my opinion. But it's a subjective thing. But I really enjoyed this. I knew where it was going to end, as I said.
Yeah, for me, I didn't know where it was going to end. I thought it was going to end with them deposed and running off. So when it kind of extended out just past that, where they met the Fremen.
Yeah. Yeah. When he has that dream of him dying, I was like, right, this is going to be this. The film is going to end because what they're insinuating is the dream that he has is that the Paul, the young man, the naive kid, is dead, and the Messiah is born, and that is exactly what happens. He killed but his innocence is taken away when he kills. And that's what he does. He kills the person, and that's what the dream meant. That the innocent Paul has died. And I thought this is where they're going to end the film, because it then makes sense that then it goes into the second part where he essentially takes on the Messiah, and he has more and more dreams, realizing that he can't control the Fremen from their jihad, which stretches across the galactic empire. But he uses that, obviously, to his advantage to a certain extent. But I won't ruin the ending. I'm so glad that part 2 is being greenlit and it's in pre-production and it's going to begin shooting soon. That's great news.
What I'm going to say for this is this comment here. I prefer the 1984 version because it was a whole movie. Yep, I completely agree. There was a whole movie. If the second part of Dune comes out and it is the same and still tells the whole story, then I think this one will be better than the 1984 one because it's spread out longer and done that way. But if it doesn't work out, then the 1984 one, and it's all down to having that kind of finish to the thing. And yes, it's Stellan Skarsgård. I just remember Skarsgård. He's got a son also who was in King Kong versus Godzilla, which is probably my favourite film, featuring giant monkey hitting giant lizard of all time, because it's like, along with Team America being my favourite action marionette film. Thunderbirds was a TV series, I'm afraid. But it was good. I liked the what do you call it? The bit where he had the assassin that was put into the wall, and the little bug creature, trying to kill him. That was a bit on the mad side. It was like, this is a bit extreme, isn't it? But that happened, and then the bit where Oscar Isaac, I can't remember his name, is the head of House Atreides, poisons the Baron by crunching down on his tooth.
Yes.
That worked for me.
Duke Leto is the
Leto, thank you.
Yeah.
I remember Baron Harkonnen and Paul Atreides, but I can't remember the others. Is weird. But yeah, it was good. What was her name? Rebecca Ferguson, who played Jessica. She seemed stressed out all the time on everything. Everything she was stressing around. It's like, I'm seeing the witch with the box. Put your hand in the box. What's in the box? Pain. I'm not stupid. I'm stupid. I'll put my hand in the box. Because she's like, shut up. But that was, I like that. That was Charlotte Rampling who played the setting where they had it where they're talking through the fog. I thought was quite telling storyline wise. Yeah, because it's like nothing's quite clear on what's going on or where it's going. So having it set in fog worked really well. That was good. And the other part of me too is I was a bit I was concerned because I did want Matey to get his spice mining operation up and running, but that never came to fruition. So it's like, kind of, dude, because it was like, it's when he turned around and he said, "Look, how many people can we take on board?" And it's like, "Oh, we're going to take X amount of people on board," and he's like trying to get everyone safe. You're like, "Oh, I really like you," and then he got done in by the doctor there, and you knew the doctor was getting screwed over. And we all knew the doctor knew he was going to get screwed over. That's why he gave him the tooth. So yeah, just don't trust the Harkonnens. And then why Harkonnens they call them? I always thought they were Harkonnens. I've always seen them read and heard them read as Harkonnens. But they call them Harkonnens. Hark, we own them. Because I always thought it was Hark, we own them. Yeah, Harkonnen. It's got the syllables to match because it's one of those kind of clever wordplay sort of things. It's a good film. I recommend watching it. Make sure you empty your bladder twice before going in, though. I did, and I didn't miss a thing, which is fantastic. The end bit was the bit that got me, where I'm like, kind of, they're escaping. Now they're going through the sandstorm, and now they're going through the thing, and then there's like and then it's like going across the worm thing, and this and the other. I'm like, kind of, is it going to end soon? Because I'm like, kind of, where does it end? Don't stop teasing me. This is not funny. Stop teasing me. You want to keep going through this, and it was good. I do recommend it. It's worth the watch. Let's move on to something that I don't think is worth the watch. Something I've been watching for the last couple of weeks and gone, this is a bit dry. I do like it, but I'm talking about Apple TV's Foundation. Promise, I think, in the first episode, and you were expecting things to develop, and it kind of just went shh. And everything feels a bit fucking generic, pardon my language. It feels really generic. It feels so generic. And it's like, I like the actor who plays Harry Seldon, and I like the actor who plays his assistant, the one who was in Harry Potter. He's quite a good guy to watch. The lady who was in charge of the settlement for like security is pretty much the sheriff. I didn't like her character at first because she didn't really have anything to work with. And then when you saw her and she's like, I've got to put these shields up, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, I've got to sort all this stuff out, because I'm trying to keep you guys safe, And then you're like, oh, I kind of like you because you're like a doer, And then you had the arsehole in charge who was in Da Vinci's Demons in charge of the settlement. That was interesting. I like the ship that was jumping around, the Invictus that they're trying to capture. That was interesting, but it just feels dry and drawn out, and it doesn't hold my interest. I'll be honest with you. I keep moving away from it. I can't watch it continuously.
It's kind of filtered out a bit, hasn't it? I find Gail quite annoying, especially her reaction in this week's episode, and then leaving the ship and leaving Harry. It just, I think alluding to the second foundation this early on has ruined some part of it, because actually you don't really find out about the second foundation, I think, until the third book. And that's when they come in to save from the they help save the Selden plan from the mule, who is a genetically altered human being that is basically screwing up the Selden plan, and Selden hadn't accounted for it. You've also got this weird thing where Girl has premonitions, which was never there. It's all a bit strange.
All right. So, right, I've got a problem with the Gale character, and I think I would have had a problem with the Gale character in the book. Yeah. So Gale character in the book is from a fishing society where they've kind of renounced technology and this, that, and the other. Yeah. And she's a brilliant mathematician who can solve problems that she would never have come across. So it's like, what would you call those people who live pretty much in the Stone Age? What are they called? Beards, funny hats, horse and carts in the States.
Cavemen, hobbits,
not cavemen.
Oh,
not Mormons. Mormons are the ones who wear special underwear to keep them safe. That's the Mormons.
Oh yeah,
big
dumb. I know who you mean, but I can't remember what their name is. But yes, I know who you mean.
It's really annoying. Because it's like, have you heard of the 3n+1 problem?
I'm pretty sure yes, I think so, but go on, remind me. I'm sure I've heard you mention it.
You've heard me mention it, but you don't know what the 3n plus n 3n plus.
I'm sure once you start saying it, I probably will. Yeah.
Not all right. Name. Okay. So what it is it's you take any number, yeah, and I think it's you divide it by 3 until you get to divide by 3 until you get to an even number, and then take away 1, and you keep doing that until it cycles away to 0. The problem is whatever number you pick, I probably described that completely wrong. Whatever number you pick, the route that it takes is completely fucking random. No one can make any sense of it. There's no algorithm to solve it. No one has solved this thing, and mathematicians get obsessed with it because it's a really simple premise. But it's like finding someone from one of these villages where they've kind of removed technology and they've solved the 3n+1 problem. And it doesn't, for that me, it's just not, no. And the other thing too is, I don't want to sound rude to the actress, she doesn't seem that bright.
No, she just doesn't. Yeah, you're right. She has a vacant look. She's got a vacant look in her face, and she is playing young. But I don't get it. It's this writing of I don't understand why she's been a bellend. I don't understand her motivation, and it's a common thing more and more so these days in writing, where these characters act like complete bellends, and you don't know their motivation, and you think you're meant to like these characters, and they're not meant to be bellends, but they are. The writer doesn't get that they're complete bellends. The writer thinks this is somehow normal behavior, and again, it's I feel that it, I don't know. I think the writers are up their own asses, and they just don't live in the real world. And I think that's happening a lot more and more in Hollywood, but especially in this, there's just certain motivations. I mean, like the actress that's playing the huntress bird, the revenge bird. They show you this clip at the beginning of this, the beginning of this episode, of a little girl and her brother gets burned by the things, and that is meant to instill some sympathy in you for this character. But either the actress is doing a bad job, or the character is just the character's such a bitch and such an asshole. You're just waiting for her to get killed. It's like, would you hurry up and die already? I'm bored of you.
Yeah, she's not.
I've no sympathy for you. You're just a nasty bitch. Oh, and all these eyes, you don't understand revenge. Oh, fuck off. You're just boring. And I'm just waiting for her to die because I'm just done with her. She's just dull. There's nothing to her, and I seriously don't have sympathy for her because the way she's acting. It's like, no, done. No sympathy for you. So it's, I don't know. I mean the mayor character or the sheriff character is a gender swapped, race swapped character. From the book, but or the first part anyway.
She's got a character though.
Yes,
there's something
I will give
there.
you that.
The base writing is there. It's not. It doesn't feel like a self-insert sort of thing. If you know what I mean. It's not. She doesn't say she was hard. Oh, okay. I was a bit different growing up, and that's about it. And I can approach this thing. You know,
there has been a there's been a serious problem with the quality of anything on Apple TV really at the moment. I mean, even Ted Lasso season 2 was not as good as the season 1, although the last episode was pretty good. And it's still good. It's just it wasn't as good as season 1. But that's about the only thing on Apple TV that I genuinely have really liked. And I don't know. I'm not. The trailer, Gerard Harris being in it as Selden was also promising, and then they completely screwed with it because Selden didn't load himself into a freaking digital memory. That's all bullshit. The mayor, the empire, the emperors cloning each other. That's for the TV series. That's not from the book. It's almost like we want a Game of Thrones style series, and we need to base it on an established material, but then completely change it. We've just nicked the character names and some of the premises in it, and that's pretty much what they've done. Now, Lee Pace as the Emperor is interesting. He's a very strange looking man. Yes, but the way he's built, his body he's got quite long arms, and he's he's a huge man.
That blue armor makes him look a bit really like top heavy. I think for a man,
he's a massive bloke. I mean, I think he's nearly 7 foot tall. He's fucking big bloke. I mean, he's a big tall dude. I think
6'5". He's 6'5". So he's fucking tall.
He is big man.
But I think plus 6'2" is fucking tall.
I found that premise interesting and exploring it and the idea that you're going to get drifting clones, which is blatantly what's happening with the what do they call it? Dawn, brother Dawn, who is the youngest one. I liked that. I thought that was interesting, but it fizzled out after the last 2 episodes, and the first 2 episodes, a lot happens in those first 2 episodes, and then it kind of just goes like a wet fart.
Yeah, it's just kind of forgotten everything. Oh, we'll kick you out. Blah, blah. Okay, you're now here. That's what it felt like. It felt like the storyteller's gone, okay, we've made it to the planet. Let me just... You didn't see him build up the settlement. You didn't see him struggle. You didn't see him do this. You didn't see him do that. Nothing happened. It's, Gail Storm's way too juvenile. Her emotionalism doesn't jive with someone who's supposed to be brilliant. Yeah, she doesn't. They could have done... You can do the autistic angle for genius, yeah? So you could have like 0 social skills sort of thing, but knows maths, yeah? So she clearly doesn't fit in at home because she can do all this stuff that no one else can do, and she's obsessed with it. But yeah, it's... no, I think the actress didn't bother doing any kind of thing. She didn't look at like kind of mathematic geniuses and stuff, because it would have been the closest thing she's got to showing any sign of genius is counting prime numbers when she swims. But that doesn't. No. It's like
I didn't know a whole story.
Yeah, look at Sherlock. Yeah, did you see the original pilot to Sherlock?
Yes.
The half-hour pilot that they did to Sherlock.
Oh no, not that one. What was it?
You've not seen that one?
Pilot.
there was a half-hour pilot to Sherlock that they did, yeah, and Sherlock was lovely, friendly, affable person, yeah, and then when they finished doing that, they went, no, it doesn't work, and then they redid the whole thing and turned him into this person who's an absolute genius with zero social skills. Yeah, because it's like when you have like a RPG builder when you're putting a character together. Yeah, you can have a bit of, you put in so much intelligence, but you miss out on things like charisma and agility and stuff like that. But the actress is not good enough to play.
You see, when she, I mean, again, you see, the second foundation is on Trantor and not Harry Seldon's home world. And so when he turns up in the ship with her and she rescues, I thought, okay, this could be going in an interesting direction. And then she's thrown her toys out her pram, and she's going home again. It's going to take her hundreds of years to get home. I was like, okay, she's a bellend.
All your friends and family will be dead.
Yeah, why? Right. Why are you not going? Why don't you go to the first foundation, which is where you were meant to go? I mean, I get Harry won't tell you, but Harry's got his reasons for not telling you, and as an intelligent person, you should understand that. But no, you threw your toys out your pram, and well, no, I'm going home. Screw you guys, which is pretty much what she did. Which it was at the end of the episode. So screw you guys, I'm going home, and that's what she's done. You know, yeah. It's stupid.
It's not good, and it's dry, I think, is the other thing too. The interesting bit is when they turned up with the bloody space cannon outside their settlement. That's when I started watching it and going, something is going to happen, because they have the what do you call it, the monolith. It's got the monolith from 2001 in it. All right, it's got the monolith that only wants a mission project. That was the only interesting thing that was in it. Yeah. Maybe some bits with the Emperor, but it was like, what's the story behind the monolith? I want to know. Tell me. And it's like, well, no.
Well, they do, but that again, that in the book, it's not revealed until, I mean, a good deal in. And in actual fact, the way the episodes were going, it should have been revealed after the 4th or 5th episode. But it's you've got that one bit at the beginning, and then you've got this 35-year time jump. And then it's just stayed at 35 years. Now, the whole idea of Foundation is it goes over 1,000 years. So, your one season's got to cover at least 150 to 200 years. So we should know, or you should know, what that is. But I don't even know if they're going to go according to the book, because the fact that Seldon's alive kind of screws with it. Or not alive, but is alive. It's all fucked
Seldon's alive.
So, I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah, look. Biffa's completely right. At this point, the show has nothing to do with Asimov anymore. No, it doesn't. They should just have made their own show rather than bastardize the name Foundation. Yeah, because that's all they're really doing. They're using names from the books, but it certainly isn't what it was. And I think revealing the existence of the second Foundation could have been this big thing that you could have done in the 3rd or 4th season. Harry was a clever bastard and created second Foundation. Because at the end of the day, in the books, you don't know anything about the second Foundation, and the cheeky bastards have been on Trantor the whole time. And you don't know that, but they revealed this in like the 7th episode, and I was like, "Whoa, why are you doing that now?" That would have been a great sort of reveal.
Okay, all right, let's wrap up Foundation. It's not worth a watch. That's it. It's not worth it. It's too dry. It's too dull. It's too boring. Maybe if someone does a recap video on YouTube, that might be worth watching a recap.
Yeah.
But as a story, it doesn't. It's just pacing. Everything is just.
It's a bit. Yeah, it's a bit shit. It's a bit shit.
It's weird because we had Doctor Who that was shit, Dune that was good. Apart from it wasn't a complete story, and that's a legitimate problem. I could have done with another hour. I would have been happy with another hour.
I think when it's complete with the 2 parts, why they didn't shoot it as 2 parts all in one go, I don't know. But the funny thing is that Dune is the anti Foundation. Dune was written, many believe, and I think Frank Herbert admitted this, as an anti-Foundation. So where in the Foundation the Empire is collapsing and everything, Dune was written where the Empire was strong and wasn't collapsing and everything else. But if you notice, both have space folding, both have similar things around that. I mean, they in fact they borrowed from Dune in this episode far more than they do in the actual book, where what's her face, I can't, Cyborg or whatever her name is, and dickhead leader fellow are talking about how you can't just fold space and you have to be jacked in and all that stuff, which is touching on Dune's idea of having navigators to do space jumping or space folding, I should say.
Yes.
But it's interesting how Dune is really good and Foundation not so much.
This is going to be a really brief chat. There's a TV show on Apple TV again called The Invasion, starring Sam Neill and some other unknown people I don't care for. I was just looking at the actors. Sam Neill's the only one I like. He was in that dinosaur movie I watched when I was a kid. Right, and I watched it, and I'm not joking. I watched 2 episodes of it, and nothing fucking happened.
Well, I mean, okay, his street gets ripped up. You find out that most of the characters are complete and utter knobs. Okay, I watched 4 episodes of this, and I went, "Oh no, this is shit. This is not passing Gareth's 4-episode rule." And I had all to watch on after watching everything else that I usually catch up on, because there's not a lot of good TV at the moment. So, screw it, I'll watch it. And I sped through everything where the woman whose husband has committed adultery on her, and that, because that entire storyline is nauseating.
Oh, hang on a second.
Why don't she just kick him in the balls and send him off? But no, she's having this mental breakdown, which does great for feminism, by the way.
Hold on. I want to re-edit that scene, where she goes to the thing and she finds out he's having an affair, and then just have it so she turns to the kids and there's a laugh, because I found that fucking funny. It was like, kind of, she's in the car with the kids and it's just like, you dummy, you know he was doing that. Why did you not get someone to look after the kids and then go and do that so you could confront him at least?
What you know, Apple TV is meant to all be about strong women. This is a weak and feeble woman who's having a fucking breakdown from just finding out her husband's cheated. Okay, you're going to be upset. I get that. But this woman's turned into a bellend, and now she has abandoned her kids and just fucked off to save herself. It's like, are you meant to like this woman? No, skip through all of her storyline, because she's a knob.
The thing,
right?
All right, hold on a second. Right, first episode sets up all these characters, and then you get to the second episode, it sets up another bloody character.
Yeah,
it sets up the
and
kid
then
in the English school kid.
And then the third one sets up the American soldier dude who's got something funky going on with his wife. I followed the school kids and a little bit of the soldier, but again, it's kind of half boring. And actually, the thing, because I mean, okay, I'm going to admit, right, when you see that beautiful shot of Tokyo and Japanese woman lying in bed, and she's you're hearing this in the shower, but you don't see her partner. You know, the first thing that came to mind, lesbian. I just went, lesbian. She's a lesbian. And of course, like 3 minutes in, it's revealed she's a lesbian. I was like, and I switched off.
Hang on,
but actually, right now, the Japanese storyline, her partner's quite hot.
Blind out to space, she's dead.
Yeah, well, no, she's not dead. In this episode,
have a bloody vac suit on.
Yeah. Well, now we find out. You see, Gareth, how you pay attention, 007. Right. So apparently, this is the only reason.
Watching.
This is the only reason, mate. I don't blame you. This is the only reason I'm still watching, is because a Japanese lady, when she breaks in after her boss, who's a bit of a dick, but actually in this episode kind of redeems himself. She hears a sound and she's going, how can I hear this sound? How can my dead girlfriend be warning me of something if she got blown into the vacuum of space? And then it's revealed, they've detected like an atmosphere, right? So she might not be dead. She might have been blown out of the ship, but they might be surrounded by some kind of funky field that we haven't yet revealed. I'm speculating here, Gareth, but they've recorded sounds, and they've clocked on that it's not your blown into vacuum of space bullshit, because they've said, how can she be alive? It's vacuum, it's space. You can't be alive. So they've acknowledged that tiny little scientific fact, right? So, but I don't know what's going on.
But the whole basis for the space industry.
Gareth, don't get on American. Don't sarcasm, British humor. That tiny little fact is actually a massive fucking fact in the rule of space. But it's the only compelling storyline at the moment is the kids and the Japanese, and only because I want to know what the hell's going on now. And can you show me some goddamn aliens, please, instead of an alien sequel? Oh yeah, clickbait. Fucking Sam Neill's in this, and then gets stabbed through the head at the end of the first episode. Spoilers, people. And then you see that's one shot of an alien, and then you see another shot of an alien ship with weird blacky fucking things, and that's it. Oh, and the beginning scene when some poor old Arab dude gets killed by what we thought was a sandworm, but we don't know. I don't know. It's shit. It's not good. It is really not good. In fact, I'm skipping through half the character stories because it's that bad. But I need to know what's going on with the hot Japanese girl. I do. I need to.
It's a magazine, for fuck's sake.
No, it's nothing to do with that. I'm compelled by the storyline now just to know what's going on with her.
Asian babes. That's what I recommend to solve that Asian girl story.
Yeah, you're right there. I couldn't get through half of it, and I like Tom Hanks.
Okay.
So,
all right. Well, I didn't watch Finch. Guess what? I started just on a note. I started rewatching Daredevil season 2. Fucking love that show. That's so good. The second season, you got the Punisher, and it's like they're like oh, it was an army, and then the conclusion is it's not. It's just one person. And you're like, wow, just the build up and everything, and it's the characters. Yeah, the characters are doing good things. They're out there trying to help people, like heroes do, regardless of powers. And it's just. That was good TV. I missed good TV. I really don't understand why we can't have good TV anymore. It's amazing. There are other things to watch. Lock and Key was one. If you want to talk about Lock and Key quick,
I was meant to watch the final episode last night and I didn't get around to it, but I know what happens. I've figured out what happens. But Lock and Key's been good. Look, I've been inching that out. Purely because I really, really want to have something good to watch and look forward to. I will tell you one thing. I won't spoil Eternals for you, but the final scene, the end post-credit scene, part 2, did kind of get me a tad excited.
Just a quick one. Does Icarus fly too close to the sun?
Yeah.
Fucking obvious, isn't it? Why do they call him Icarus? Right, hang on a second. Is this the thing with Harry Styles?
Nope. That's Harry Styles' Thanos' brother. That's the first credit scene. There's another one at the end of it. So you've got Jon Snow, right? And
he's the black. Does he get into his uniform at the end?
No. The Black Knight. He opens up the box. That's not right. The final scene is he opens up the box. There's the sword, right? And he goes to touch the sword, and then he goes, "No, I can't do it." And then, you hear this voice, and it's the voice that's got me excited because I know the voice. I know who the voice is, and I went, "Oh, who's he playing?" Then I googled it and went, "Oh shit!" So, and then it all flooded in because he goes, you hear this voice going, "Are you sure that's a good idea, Mr. Whitmore?" But it is a deep black voice that I've heard before. And it's Mahershala Ali, the guy that was the bad guy in season 2 of the other Marvel thing. The actor that we quite like.
He's
Blade, exactly. So you hear the voice of Blade. And I thought, okay, now that's Blade. That's kind of cool. But that's it. You don't see him.
Sense,
you just see the voice. Well, he had.
That makes no
Blade
sense.
had something to do with the Black Knight, didn't he? Blade had something to do. I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did.
I'm sure he's not anything because I roughly know Blade's story and where he changed from being a snot-nosed youth who threw wooden daggers really well like blades to when they changed him around in the late 90s.
Sure, Blade and the Black Knight are connected
because Blade was part of a group of 4 people. One of them being Whistler, then the other one being a Van Helsing kind of rip-off character.
Yeah, I
can't remember. God, fuck! It's because when you look up something, when you look like Blade came out, and it was like, oh, okay, and then you finally get the internet, and then you hit the dial-up, and then you log in, it's a Blade. and you search Yahoo for Blade, and then you wait, and there you go. The search results have come up as the image goes on your 56k modem, and trying to remember stuff like that, because I remember Blade was he was in like a feature comic where there was Len versus Dracula, because they had actual Dracula in the comics, and I can't remember. But
I kind of thought it was cool hearing the voice of Blade. I mean, Harry Styles is Thanos' brother, so they've now acknowledged the fact that Thanos was an Eternal.
A deviant. He wasn't Eternal. He was a deviant. He had the deviant gene. That's why he had a big purple ball sack for a chin. Because remember, this is what I know of the Eternals. Yeah, my Eternals is what I know of Thanos. Yeah, we had the Eternals, who were this race of like super beings who lived on the planet Titan. Yeah, they sent some off to Earth to try and help, charities to the god kind of the human race. But while that happened, they started developing mutants for all intents and purposes. So there were Eternals who were supposed to be the perfect creatures, and then there were these mutants, and Thanos was a mutant. Yeah, and it was kind of a bit reflective of the X-Men story when it came to this. But it's
all I will say is because you've got that ticket, go and watch it at the cinema. But if you were actually paying for it, I would tell you wait until a DVD.
Yeah, I know, but someone will not come along with me. I'll come and watch the Eternals with you. You don't want to watch the Eternals with me. I'm gonna be playing. I'm gonna play Tetris on my phone. It sounds. Everyone has described it as like kind of 145 minutes of exposition and then a fight at the end. That's what I've heard. It's literally just they show a few things here and there, and then boom, big fight at the end, and everything else is like people going, "Oh look, it's you. Hello, you. What are you doing?" Blah blah. And that's it.
I am again. To me, this doesn't do anything for the MCU. It doesn't introduce any interesting storylines. It makes it even more messy in some ways. Watch it, and then we'll talk about it, because I have thoughts about it. Look, as a 2-hour movie on its own, it's a forgettable one. It's a forgettable Marvel movie, but it wasn't entirely boring. There were moments that made us laugh. Lem enjoyed it, but I was just like, it's not doing anything for the MCU, in my opinion. But the Blade, hearing Blade at the end, I was like, oh, that's Blade. Ooh. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, but you don't go to the cinema to watch the bloody
you don't
thing at the end. It's supposed to be a bonus to reward you for watching it. You can find most of that stuff on YouTube, I'll be honest with you.
I was entertained for a couple of hours, but again, I could take it and leave it. It's not like I didn't have an active dislike of the film. You might, but I didn't have an active dislike of the film. Check your brain at the door. No. It
has to be has to have a certain level of engagement for me to check my brain. Yeah, it's just like if they just turn around, it's like in Austin Powers where he travels back in time, and he has the conversation where he goes, if I go back in time and I meet myself, I've gone cross-eyed like that, and then they turn to the camera and goes, look, don't worry about it. We're not going to worry about it. Just enjoy the film. If they can do that with me, yeah, I'm fine. But I can't do it if they're taking themselves seriously. That's when it's like, oh.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Look, it is what it is. Seeing the Celestials, kind of cool, kind of not cool.
Yeah, ruined the idea of bloody Galactus, though.
The ending of it
is
kind of like, what the hell are you doing? Why has Kevin Feige just given up giving a shit, or is he smoking weed? What's he doing? We'll leave it there on that one. The Blade was kind of cool. But again, you're right. You don't go to a cinema for that. And I'm not saying I checked my brain. It's 2.5, whatever it was, hours long. Came out, had a nice meal, bought a robot that's probably going to take over the world. Or it's currently vacuuming in my house, but probably take over the world next. I told my wife if I wake up in the morning and it's sitting over me going, "Good morning, Dave," it's gone. But it's got a pulsing red light on it. It's scary enough as it is. But Um, so the Eternals meh. It's a meh.
Did you watch Love, Death and Robots?
Yes.
Do you remember the old lady with the home helper?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, possibly.
Just saying if that's what
yeah,
happens.
I know. It's already
All right,
mapping my house. So,
okay, so
and sending a complete floor plan to the Chinese government. So I'm it's all good.
don't know what they're going to do with that floor plan. I think the Chinese have got a wrong bloody idea. Okay, cool. Right, we will leave it there. I'm not here next week. I'm away. I'm
that's going to be fun.
Alton Towers. I'm at Alton Towers. My wife's doing a fun run thing around the grounds, and then we get to go on the rides after. So I'm not going to be here next week, so it'll probably be you and Nige. Should be a very interesting conversation.
Yeah, you can sit there and argue in the comments. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong.
You're wrong. You are wrong. You are wrong. It's not. You still owe me 2 T-shirts. You owe me one from Discovery. I called it. And what was the other one you owed me for?
Oh, you've called so many things. I don't know. I've given up. But we will see. I don't even know if there's anything to talk about next week. There'll probably be some. Oh, there's some trailers. There is quite a few trailers.
Dexter's back on TV Monday. Oh,
Dexter's
it might be already out on the.
There's trailers for Stranger Things. If you haven't, I forgot to mention that there is a Stranger Things new trailer with 11. Yeah. There was something else I watched last night, and I can't remember. But yeah, there is a few things. There are a few things. But yes, we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.
I'm not going to get to say goodbye. Bye.
Bye.